John, first question on the right side.
Coach, you guys had a big advantage on the offensive glass in Game 1, but do you have to sacrifice that a little bit in order to improve transition defense?
No, I think, it's a fine line, but if Kevin and Tristan and Larry are in the paint when the shot goes up, they got to get the offensive rebound or go for it at least. And if they're on the perimeter, they got to get back in transition. So you can't crash in the perimeter once the shot goes up. But if they're inside the paint, we got to go for the offensive rebound.
In the middle, Robert.
Robert Littell, BSO. I want to get your perspective as both a former player and a coach. Coming off a loss like Game 1, do you prefer to have 2 games off to kind of decompress and refocus, or is it more preferable?
You mean 2 days off?
2 days off, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 days off. Or is it more preferable to want to come back as soon as possible?
I don't know. I mean, it really doesn't matter. We put the game behind us. It's over. Now we got to focus in on, Game 2 tomorrow. So that's all we're focused on right now.
Joe in the middle.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Ty, what did you think of Jordan?
I thought he missed some easy shots that he normally could make. I liked him being aggressive. I thought he was good defensively. He got a couple deflections, couple steals in that regard. But, offensively, he just didn't make his shot.
It seems like going through 4 rounds now with him that almost every time he misses, which is often, he's short. Is it something mechanically that you guys have found, or is he just not comfortable out there? Or what do you make of it?
Well, I think he's comfortable because he keeps shooting. So, he's not making shots right now. And, one thing about JC, he's confident. He's not scared. So he just got to be able to step up, and make his shots.
Right here in the front, Mark.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Ty, you've been through it all as a player and as a coach. George Hill said yesterday that this was the toughest loss in his career. He can't remember a tougher one. How do you as a coach, or how does, LeBron as a leader help lift players like that when a loss can be so deflating?
Just stay confident. Continue to talk to him. The game's over. He put us in a good position to win the game. But, the game's over, and nothing you can do about it. And so we got to move on, move forward. And, from watching film today and just showing some guys where we can get better, all the guys are in a great spot right now and in a great position. So they all feel good, so we're ready to go for Game 2.
Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. Obviously, LeBron's always going to be LeBron, but with the Warriors not having Andre out there, how are they different defensively without the qualities he provides?
I think just having more bodies to throw at Bron. That's about it. Because they switch everything anyway, so it doesn't really matter who's guarding, who starts on them.
Same corner.
Michael Pina from Vice Sports. Ty, LeBron's accuracy and his volume from the mid-range has been way up in this postseason than at any other point in his playoff career. How do you explain that? What's different?
Just have to take what the defense gives you, and I think he's doing a good job of that, in these playoffs. And whatever the defense will allow him to have, that's what he's going to take. So it could be mid-range, it could be to the basket, it could be threes. It's all determines, how the defense is playing them.
We'll do last 2, Mark and Joe.
Ty, it's hard to quantify when LeBron is at his greatest versus his second greatest. But after losses in this particular postseason, he's averaging like 40, 10, and 9. Is there anything that you can point to that would make him supernatural after losses in particular right now?
I don't really understand the question.
Well, in other words, his performance is high anyway, but it's super high after losses. He's had his best games this postseason.
So that means he has to 40, score 60 now, right? Well, got to score 60 tomorrow then, I guess. But, after a loss, it's tough, but I think he always comes out and leads by example and sets a tone early, I think, offensively. And we need him to do that, especially on this floor and with their crowd and the way they play. We need him to set the tone early in all the games.
Joe, last question.
I'm not sure about his defensive numbers, but from a production standpoint, if you look at Game 1 and then the 2 games this regular season, Kevin has been productive against the Warriors. And we know in years past he struggled in this series. What has changed for him?
You have to ask him that question, but just me looking, personally, he's being more aggressive, owning his space on his post-ups. I think he was 8 for 11 inside the 3 last game. So just, being able to post him against mismatches against Draymond, if it comes to that. And I just think he's just more confident. I think he did a good job, too, defensively, switching on to Steph, switching on to KD, and, really making it tough for those guys. So overall, Kevin's in a good place, and we need that same productivity when we play game 2.
Thank you, Coach. LeBron will be in next.